Don't you think we should stop at the Paddock Club on the way home? Cheers to the Flying Dutchman. I tip my knockoff Ferrari cap to you, Max Verstappen. Hey everyone, it's Kevin from Real Boring Flips, and we're back for another episode of What Sold. I've got a few things here to pack up that we'll talk about, and then we'll talk about some that I've already shipped but have sold in the last week or week and a half. Really great sales after I started consistently listing. So I encourage you, just stay on the listing horse, keep that up. That always works for me, and I believe it will work for you as well if your sales are slow. First, before we get into the sales and before we get into what I'm enjoying today, I did want to actually take this off because it's banging into my mic. So this was my wife, her pass for the Formula One race in Las Vegas this last weekend. She was an invited guest and had a great time in the Paddock Club, and she brought back a small something. We don't know what it is, but we're going to do an unveiling, a quick unveiling here. This was a handout from Stake F1 team Kick Sauber. Not sure how to pronounce that, but she said let's go ahead and unveil this on camera. So it might be a toy, it might be something to eat. I don't know. I have no idea. Could be a razor. Who knows? Let's go ahead and see what it is here. Oh, did not think it would be this. A fortune cookie. Okay, well, let's see what our fortune is. Okay, I'll show it to you first. Hopefully this will even focus. I think it's focusing. Okay, I'll read it too. Your winning attitude will directly impact your future success. And here's the numbers for those of you that play the lottery. 0, 6, 7, 22, 26, 31. So there you go. A little bit of a letdown. I thought maybe it'd be something fun to let hang around. I'm not going to let a cookie hang around though, so we'll take care of that later. So she had a great time at the race, and Max Verstappen did not win the race, but he did secure the season championship. So here to the Flying Dutchman. So before we get into this, I do want to show you what I am enjoying. I showed you a little bit. This is a Tap Out Cognitive Energy Drink. So today is Black Friday. After all of that business today, I definitely need some cognitive energy. And this is Sparkling Cherry Lemonade. So we'll go ahead and give this a shot here. Not bad, and I already feel my brain improving. Okay, so let's get into this. So I'll show you the first one. This is the one that most excited me about the sales I've got to pack here. So this is a Goodwrench original GM product or part compass that mounts onto your dash, and as you can see, it's new in the package. I got this recently. I might have done a thrifting video where I showed this. I got this recently at my local Goodwill for about $5, somewhere around $5. I listed it for $100. It sold in just a few days. I took an offer at $80. I knew it was going to sell. I was so excited to see that on the it was in the tools aisle, but it sat there for probably a week. Based on the price tag. That stuff is awesome. I love original parts like that, especially those kind of things where you would add that to any vehicle. You don't have to have a specific vehicle. I love that stuff. So look out for things like compasses or original fog lights, stuff like that. excellent find. So I was happy to see that, and that'll be going out tomorrow in the mail. The next one I'm going to show you is this. My kids were into Pokemon. This, I'm trying to remember where this came from, but I think it came with just a big stash of toys that I bought at an auction quite a while ago. I just recently listed it, and it sold for $29.88. So excellent flip, because I probably only had pennies into that purchase. The next one, this is an example of stuff that I force myself to list and then forget. Now, if I had a second store, this would go in my death pile store where I don't even pay attention. I just ship out stuff as it sells. But this is a vintage, it's called scribbage. So however that game works, you basically have a bunch of dice with letters, and you build words out of it. It was missing the timer. So I only listed this at like I think I listed it at $6. It had some messed up back here too, but didn't have a weird smell. I listed it for $6. I took an offer today at $4 plus shipping, so that'll go out. I had a bunch of games like that, and I listed them all just to see what would happen, and I've sold quite a few of them. This was probably the lowest dollar value, but some people say, well, I wouldn't list something like that because I'm not making any money, but it does count as a sale. So I keep that in mind when I'm listing certain things. I'll list something, especially if I know it's going to sell. This I had no real clue, but some stuff I'll list low priced if I know it will sell, and it will then count as a sale. So think about that when you're listing too. I would not have bought this separately. It came with a bunch of other stuff. And then the last item I've got up here is another cordless phone handset. This is an AT&T with the battery and the charging cradle. And this sold for $12.88. So I'm out of these ones. I think I had a few of them. These are now gone. I've really done well with handsets lately. I kind of put a little bit of focus into the stuff I had. I got rid of the base stations, just converted over to handsets only, and it's worked like gangbusters. So it was good to focus on that, get everything listed and stored and identified. So it's very easy for me to find what I sold and get it packed out and shipped. More brain. Okay, so now we'll go into some that I've already shipped but sold in the last week or so. I sold this great Russian nesting doll set. I've never bought one of those until just recently. Probably a few months ago, I bought a set just happened upon this estate sale just down the street from us. We were coming home and noticed that there was an estate sale. And so I hopped out, put my name on the list, came back when it opened. Really didn't find anything of substance at this estate sale. It really wasn't my kind of estate sale, but I did find this nesting doll. Very clean, very nice condition, and it was 10 dolls altogether, and had the made in USSR stamp on the bottom. Really didn't know what to think. I paid quite a bit for it. I think I paid around $17 for it, $16 or $17 for it. But it sold for $49.88 plus shipping, so that's gone out. And the way I packed that, because I didn't want it just rattling around, all the dolls inside rattling, so each doll I wrapped in just a piece of paper, packing paper, the thinner kind. Each doll was packed that way, and then into the next doll, and when I got all done, you could shake the doll and you weren't hearing it rattle around. So I think the buyer will be happy with that. The next item I got here is this Lego minifigure. It's a Stitch from Lilo and Stitch, the Disney show. And I got several of these Disney exclusive minifigures at an estate sale, great estate sale a couple of years ago. And I got a whole box of Lego stuff. I've sold most of that off. but in there were a bunch of these different, like, I guess they were, you could only get them at the park. And so I ended up listing each one of these minifigures separately, and I've sold several of them. I actually have one more of this Lilo or Stitch figures, but this one little figure sold for $13.88 plus shipping, so that's out the door. I did sell another Razer Naga gaming mouse, and recently I just bought one, so you might have seen that in a thrifting video. It turned out it didn't work, so I returned it. I was really bummed because that was a good model. This was a good model too. This RZ010028 model, in blue, in color, the lights in blue, worked great, was nice and clean, and it sold for $65. I think I took an offer on that one for $65, and so it's gone out the door. This next item is kind of kicking myself because it sat here for a long time, and I just didn't want to list it. I didn't think it was worth anything, but I got it out, cleaned it up, confirmed everything was there, and found some comps and felt pretty confident that it would sell, and it sold almost immediately for $49.88, and so that's gone out the door as well. This next item I just bought. It hadn't even made it into my inventory storage yet, but this was an Aris fiber modem, a Ziply fiber modem, modem router setup. And I specifically buy these when I see them. If they're fiber, I'll check to see if they're worth buying. But if they're in the package, in the original box, I almost always check those ones. And in this case, this was a fiber modem, and I was able to plug it in, log into it, so I can at least confirm you can log into it. And it was reset. So on those, they have the password label on those routers with a password, the factory reset password. So it had already been reset, so I was able to log in, just confirm that I could connect to it. And so that has gone out the door. That went quick, $55. I took an offer on that as well. But I was happy with my roughly $5 or $6 investment. This next one, yay, I sold another piece of our old refrigerator. I'll have to get the tally. Maybe I can get that picture to pop up on screen for you to show where we are with trying to pay for our brand new fridge by selling off parts from our old refrigerator. So I actually sold two of these. There's another one on the list here a little bit later, but these were just the small baskets that would fit on your door. So I sold two of these. Both sold at $14.88 plus shipping. I sold a box set of, they're kind of like tarot cards, but these were more, not quite tarot cards, but similar, like healing cards. These were called Path of the Soul Destiny cards. And there's a little book in there. And I think originally I listed them as a book, but I don't think they got into the books category. So technically you could ship these media mail because there is a bound book, and these cards are just part of the package. But in this case, I didn't ship them by media mail. They went out Ground Advantage, which was still similar. I didn't lose any money on shipping. But this sold for $14.90. I think I did take an offer as well. $14.90 plus shipping. So this next set is a whole set of cordless phones, and like I had just mentioned, I stopped selling base stations, except when it makes sense. So this set of cordless phones actually came from my box guy. So he's someone I've talked about on this channel where his family buys a lot of stuff from Amazon and other places, and they just get so many boxes and packing material and bubble wrap and everything. And so we became friends, and so I've been going every so often, go to his place and just load up all their boxes. And occasionally he'll leave something out for me, say, hey, you might want to sell this. So the last time I was out there was a box of random electronics, but there were some cordless phones in there. And this was one of the sets. And this set, it was a Uniden Power Max, so 5.8 gigahertz cordless phones. I actually had this same set. This was our set we used in our house for a long time. But this set of base station plus 3 handsets sold for $29.88. So you can't beat a zero investment flip, and it sold quick. So this next item you saw recently in one of my thrifting videos. It was a sealed puzzle. It was called a 3-layer puzzle. So I think as you built it, it created new images as you continued to build the puzzle. So sealed puzzle. I paid, now I can't remember. It was about $5 for the puzzle, and sold this. Took an offer at $21 plus shipping. So it was a quick flip. It was, it was an excellent 3 times, gain. So here's another item that I recently purchased as part of these board game purchases. This was Risk Halo Legendary Edition, and it was an out-of-print game, so I knew it was going to do well. I ended up taking an offer. I had some really great communication with the buyer, and first he asked, hey, how's the condition of the box? Because I did note a few issues with the box. And then he asked, is it complete? And I said, I believe it's complete. And I said, let me double check. So then I ended up counting all the individual pieces, and I got to the last color, the last army of the soldiers, and I was missing one. So I notified him, and then I revised my listing to say 99% complete, missing one of this one army, and added those photos. He responded with an offer. And he said, hey, missing one piece is just fine. So I still, I took a less than I originally wanted, but I still got $42 for this, and can't remember how much I paid, but I think I paid less than $10 for this game. I always look for Risk, some of those types of games, Clue or Risk, those games that have weird versions. And so this, even though it was used, it was a good pickup, and it was a good flip because it sold quickly. So this next item was one that we bought last year just after Christmas. It was a Lego Marvel Avengers Advent Calendar. And my kids love these things. They still love getting Lego Advent Calendars, but this one went in our to be sold stack, and it sold at my list price of $39.88, and it went out to the new buyer already. So they'll have it in time to start opening pieces for this Christmas. So my next item was a couple of books, and these are Dietrich Bonhoeffer, and I think there's a movie coming out about Dietrich Bonhoeffer, but this was just a couple of books that came with a large lot of books that I've been selling through. I pieced them together as like authors into lots, and these actually I took an offer at $10 for the set of these 2 books plus shipping. Nice books. It's hard to get great value out of reselling books, but I try to lot them together to maximize my gain. So those went out as well. I sold another, not the same as this AT&T cordless phone, but another AT&T cordless phone, like I've been selling. Another one for $12.88. I seem to sell them all at $12.88. So that went out. And then this item, this was a Thrustmaster flight control stick, and I think it even went to like maybe the old serial connection for an old PC. But it was in the box, nice condition. I've had it for a long time. I don't buy these anymore just because they don't seem to sell or sell quickly. But this one, I think as I was listing more items, my algorithm triggered and I started selling stuff that had been sitting around for a while. And this sold for $34.88. I think I had $7 into this one. So this next item, this one's I'm a little nervous on this one being returned, but we'll see. This was an IMRS-1 Swiss Bionic pulsed electromagnetic device. So big pad that you lay on and your body receives pulses. I sold it for parts, and I took an offer at $800. I sold it for parts because I could not get the display to work. It's possible it just needed a new battery, but I'm not sure. I don't know. It has a special battery, and then you have to charge that battery. So I think it always runs off the battery whether you have it plugged in or not. So I told the buyer, hey, this, I don't know if this works, might not work, might just, I think it's just the battery, but I don't know. So I'm selling it as parts. They were happy with the offer at 800. I had it listed for 1500, and I had about $300 into this. This came from Shop Goodwill before I started doing grading Goodwill videos, but I kind of probably overspent, but I felt like parts it would still sell, and I was right. I was happy to get 800. I just listed this recently, so like it sold within a week. So I figured even if it gets returned, I think I could still sell it. You know, maybe even split it up into pieces, but it was all one box. And I think the original purchase invoice was in there. It was like $3,800, something like that. I look for quack's probably the wrong term, but I look for inventive therapy devices. So stuff like magnetic stuff or laser type stuff, anything that's kind of out on the fringe of healthcare. And I wasn't even familiar with them until I just saw the listing on Shop Goodwill, then started investigating. So this next one is a Coleman lantern, so a gas lantern. It was in the box. I bought it at an estate sale. I think I paid quite a bit for it. I think I may have paid $20 for it. I sold it for $35 at offer. Felt fine with that. I've got another one that's still listed. I'll pop that listing up. But that one I got at Goodwill. It came out on a cart. I grabbed it. It was $7. But that one is an insane value. I'm holding the line at that one because I think that one will bring about $400. This one was a little more standard, but I was happy with the $35. I did an extra padding because not only does it have that glass globe in there, but I was packing it in the original box, and then I wrapped that box, and then I put that box in another box with padding around it. So it hasn't arrived yet, but I think my buyer will be happy with that. So another item that I sold that had been sitting around, I've been picking my apartment here, just selling stuff that I just never listed, was this Microsoft, it's called a Sculpt ergonomic desktop. So it was a kind of a cool shaped keyboard, and then you also had a little like a number keypad, battery, Bluetooth, and then a mouse, and all in one box. I bought this a long time ago, just never listed it for some reason. I thought it was a good purchase. I just never got around to it. It was sitting in the same box with that big loader toy. So I got both of those out and figured out I should list them. Listed both of them. They both sold quickly. This Microsoft keyboard, I took an offer at $125. I think I paid $10 for it. Might have paid $15. So this next item was one more, another cordless phone. I think it was the last of my Uniden cordless phones that I've been selling. I think I had 5 or 6 of those. These sold for a little bit higher. These were $14.88. And so super happy to just see these things continuing to roll out. Easy money, easy listing if you have multiples, and they just keep rolling. So an excellent stream of sales on these cordless handsets. And then another item was a JVC remote. Now, I used to buy a lot of remotes, and then my Goodwill changed the prices. They went from $1.99 to $4.99 for remotes. I had been buying remotes like crazy there because I would buy a nice receiver remote like a JVC or a Yamaha or Pioneer. I'd make good money buying them at $1.99. $5 is a little more. Your chances of finding one worth selling goes down. In this case, I got this remote at a rummage sale. It was just in with a bunch of stuff. I had pennies into it. I took an offer at $23 plus shipping, and so that one's out to has been delivered. So, and it was basically a new remote. I don't think it had ever been used. So my last item, this was actually a local pickup. Now I used to offer local pickup on everything, but I stopped doing that because I'd say probably 1 out of every 10 sales, someone would select local pickup and they would be halfway across the country. So the average eBay buyer just doesn't understand eBay. They would see local pickup and expect to be able to go like down the street at their house and pick it up. Somehow it didn't register to people that that's not what that means. So I stopped offering it. Somehow I listed this item with local pickup. I think it just automatically listed. But the people actually wanted it. And so I'm about 5 miles away from our Costco. So I typically just meet people there. And in this case, they were happy to meet up, and they got this Epson PictureMate AC adapter. And I just recently bought this. I just talked about it in a previous thrifting video, where I buy these AC adapters if they have a weird voltage, maybe a connector. And in this case, this was made for a PictureMate printer. I sold this, took an offer at $22, no shipping obviously, but that was an excellent pickup because I only paid $1 for it. And it sold quickly, and so excellent sale there. So that's what we had. So my sales really have gone up since I started consistently listing. So as my brain power increases, I would encourage you to continue, even if you have to schedule your listings. Like, you create 5 listings and you know you're not going to be able to create any the next day or the day after, schedule one of those 5 for the following days. I really believe that helps you with the algorithm. Now, there's all kinds of people that say that doesn't make any sense. I do it and my sales go up. So until my sales don't go up when I'm doing that, then I'm going to believe in this system. So if you're able to list every day anyway, then no big deal. But like me, I'll go days in between actually listing, just because of work schedule or family life, or the holidays coming on. So in any way that I can help my store sales rate, I'll do it. And there's some method to not doing it because your items aren't actually listed yet. You've done the work, they're not listed. I get that, but I still think for part-timers like I am, it makes sense to dole these out so that you have a consistent listing, even if it's 1 a day. If you do 5 listings and then 1 a day for 5 days, I still think that's better than 5 and then none. So prove me wrong, but I think that works. So I hope you like this video. I hope you have subscribed. If you haven't, please do that. This really helps. I really appreciate everyone tuning into these videos. I hope you're getting something from them. I do value for value, so I'm hoping that you are receiving value from watching these, and I certainly am getting value from you watching them. I love seeing the comments as well, and just really thank you all for that. So as I always say, come join me again next time.
Attention, bonus clip imminent.
I had 2 sales last night, and so I wanted to talk about those specifically. The second item is really the one I wanted to share because as I was looking at my solds this morning, I had a slight panic attack. Because as you know, earlier in this video, I talked about how I said I had sold another Razer Naga mouse, gaming mouse. Took an offer at $65 and shipped it. Well, this morning I get a sold on Naga gaming mouse, and I thought I only had one. And so instantly I thought I might have shipped the wrong mouse to the wrong person. Even though I do my print out my packing slips and I check, make sure I'm shipping the right item. I didn't do that this time. I was too confident that I only had one of those, and they're two different models. Now, fortunately, the one I shipped out the other day was the correct one for that buyer. That was the more expensive mouse. This is the 2014 Razer Naga 2014 mouse, less expensive, and this one is going out today to the correct buyer. So I got to be more careful about things like this because I was pretty sure I only had one. So I got to put some kind of process step in for specifically for things like these mice where I may have multiples. Maybe I need to bag and label these specifically. Something to keep me from doing this again. That was a panicked moment this morning. So I was glad to get it out and confirm that I had indeed shipped the correct one earlier. So just wanted to add those in. So that was two more sales. Doing well on sales. So I'm just going to keep listing and get these packed out today and get some new stuff listed. I got some great stuff actually last night. A couple great things at Goodwill on Black Friday. So with my wife's help. So we'll talk about those in a future video. So look forward to that. We'll see you again. About roll tape.